Hi, I'm Shelley. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be my June TBR. I tried filming this morning before work, but I had to pause it 2 or 3 times, so I decided just start over from the beginning. So we'll see how it goes this time. This TBR, it's going to be a mix of books I want to read for the buzzword challenge, reading challenges, and some other interested in general. And there's a couple of pre-orders that are coming out in June that I'm hoping to get to. And there's a couple of books that I'm going to have to carry over from May. And of course I had to pick my TBR veteran from this jar. I got to pick that one. And I think I'm going to do a reread of this one right here. That's Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if you've heard of this one. I'm sure you have. Margaret Atwood is a Canadian author, and this book I'd say is pretty popular now because the Handmaid's Tale series just finished up. I think the last episode aired a couple days ago on Netflix. So I saw the original Handmaid's Tale movie. I think I looked it up. It came out in 1990, I think. And so I probably saw it a couple of years after it came out, more than likely. So I was like in my early 20s, and the movie traumatized me, I'd say, for lack of better words. And I never did read this book until almost 6 years ago. I read it as part of a challenge I did for myself, 50 classics / modern classics that I wanted to read before I turned 50. So that was a little over 5 years, almost 5 years ago now when I read that one. So I actually watched the first episode of The Handmaid's Tale TV series. The same day I think the last episode came out. So I think I might watch the first season of The Handmaid's Tale and then reread the book and then continue on with the rest of the series. And I don't have a physical copy of The Testaments, which was a sequel that she wrote a few years ago now. And then I might reread that one, get a copy from the library maybe, and reread it. So that's that one. On the next couple of pre-orders, I'll put a picture up in the corner here somewhere. And the first one comes out June 3rd. And that's The Beautiful Maddening by Shea Ernshaw. Now that is a young adult fantasy romance. And I don't normally read young adult anymore, and usually not romance, but I am a fan of Shea Ernshaw's writing. I have all her books, and I've read all of her books that she's put out so far. But now she does have an adult book coming out next year, I believe, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. So this one is described as a haunting romantic contemporary fantasy about a teen navigating her family's love curse that blooms with their enchanted tulips every year. So that one I just had a notification that was shipped, so it usually takes at least a week for books to get to me, so I should have it no problem to be able to read it in June month. And the other one, the pre-order is, I had the page here, but it disappeared. The other pre-order is from V.E. Schwab. That one comes out June 10th, and it's Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And it's described as toxic lesbian vampires, which had me intrigued. And it's a historical fantasy, and it's LGBTQIA+. And I've read a lot of V. Schwab's books. There's a couple, I think they're YA ones that I haven't read yet, but I've read a lot of her other books. So I'm looking forward to this one. Now this one is like almost 600 pages, so I'm not sure if I'll get to it in June by the time I get it in the mail. It could be like toward the end of June before I get it, so it all depends. And I'll just read. This one just says, it's a spellbinding queer love story following the desires and dreams of a trio of enigmatic young women. There is Santo Domingo de la Calzada in 1532, London in 1837, Boston 2019. Three young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high, and one grows deep, and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. So I can't wait to read that one when it comes out. And oh yes, the Beautiful Maddening by Shea Ernshaw. That one I could use for the buzzword. One of the buzzword reading challenges is on the cover, celestial cover, which has moon or stars, planets, something like that. So that one does have a crescent moon and some stars on it, so that one would qualify for that challenge. Let's see. And the other buzzword challenge is read a book with a memory word on the cover, like memory, remember, forget, forgotten, that type of thing. So I have a couple here. I'm not sure which one I'll get to yet. I'm still trying to decide. But first one is Don't You Forget About Me by, how do you pronounce her name? It says here in the back, Mhairi McFarlane. So that one's Don't You Forget About Me, and this is, it's a romance. And on the back, Jenny Colgan is quoted saying, it's totally hilarious and wincingly real. And I love Jenny Colgan's writing, so if she likes this book, then I'm sure I'll probably like it too. I haven't read from this author before, so I'm looking forward to it. And it says here, it began with 4 words, I love your laugh. But that was 12 years ago. It really began the day Georgina was fired from the worst restaurant in Sheffield and found the worst boyfriend in the world in bed with someone else. So when her new boss, Lucas McCarthy, turns out to be the boy who wrote those words to her all that time ago, it feels like the start of something. The only problem, he doesn't seem to remember Georgina at all. So that one sounds interesting to me. And the next one with a memory word is The Archive of the Forgotten by A.J. Hackwith. It's that one there. And this one is the second book in the Hell's Library trilogy. So maybe I should read about the first one. Where is it? The first book in the trilogy was The Library of the Unwritten, down there. So, many years ago, Claire was named head librarian of the Unwritten Wing, a neutral space in hell where all the stories unfinished by their authors reside. Her job consists mainly of repairing and organizing books, but also of keeping an eye on restless stories that risk materializing as characters and escaping the library. When a hero escapes from his book and goes in search of its author, Claire must track and capture him with the help of former muse and current assistant Brevity and the nervous and sweet demon Leto. But what should have been a simple retrieval goes horrifyingly wrong when the terrifying angel Ramiel attacks them, convinced that they hold the Devil's Bible. The text of the Devil's Bible is a weapon in the power struggle between heaven and hell, so it falls to the librarians to find a book with the ability to reshape the boundaries between heaven, hell, and earth. So I read this book, I think it was probably a couple of years ago now, I'm not sure. And I really enjoyed it, and I just haven't picked up the second book, so I'm hoping I'll do that this month. And maybe even finish the trilogy this year. So that's that one. And another one I want to read this in June is Bare Bones by Kathy Reichs. And that one is the 6th book in the Temperance Brennan series. So this one says, downtime is not a phrase in Tempe Brennan's vocabulary. A string of disturbing cases as put her vacation plans on hold. Instead, she heads to the lab to analyze charred remains from a suspicious fire and a mysterious black residue from a small plane crash. Most troubling of all are the bones. Meanwhile, Tempe's daughter's new boyfriend invites them to a picnic, a pig pickin', in a North Carolina countryside, where a cache of bones turns up. But are they animal or human? X-rays and DNA may link the crimes, but they can't reveal who is closing in on Tempe and her daughter, and how far they will go to keep her from uncovering the truth. So that's that one. And a couple of books that will probably carry over. I don't think I'll get to them this month. That is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I'll be reading that one in June. So I'm waiting for the library book. The audio book from the library for this one is still on hold. So, and also my TBR Jar veteran pick from a couple months ago, from April month, Michael Crummey's Galore. So that one I haven't read yet this month. Now, if the hold of my audiobook from the library comes up, then I will hopefully get it finished. If not, definitely I'll be reading it in June month. So that's all those books. So now I'll just pick from this jar, see what the next book is. And just grab a random one. This one. Let's see what it is. And this one is Mhairi by Anthony Horowitz. Probably can't see that. Alright, let's see if I can find that one in this stack. Mhairi, where are you? Right on the bottom. Okay. Alright, and that's that one right there. And I think this is the second book in the Sherlock Holmes series. I read the first one a few years ago, The House of Silk. So this is another Sherlock Holmes written by Anthony Horowitz. It says here, what really happened when Sherlock Holmes and his arch nemesis, Professor James Moriarty, met at the Reichenbach Falls. So it says here, internationally best-selling author Anthony Horowitz's nail-biting new novel plunges us back into the dark and complex world of Detective Sherlock Holmes and Professor James Moriarty, dubbed the Napoleon of Crime, in the aftermath of their fateful struggle at the Reichenbach Falls. So, I've had this one for a nice few years now, so it's about time I read it, I guess. So that is a book I have to read in June, but I also have to read this one as well. So, there's quite a few books in the stack. Let's see if I can pick them all up. Probably way too many. Way too many. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to get to some of these. But I'm going to definitely get to the TBR Jar books. I want to get caught up on those by the end of June so that I can be, because there's 6 left. And that's the 6 right here. I have 6. So I really want to get caught up halfway through the year. And we'll see what happens. So if you've read any of these books, let me know. If you've watched the new TV series, The Handmaid's Tale, let me know what you thought of it, and if you've watched it yet. And also, I've been having trouble with my microphone. I bought a cheap one from Amazon, so if you have one, like something like this one, and this one right here, just a small one I connect to my camera. So if you have any suggestions, let me know, comment below. And I'll see you again soon with, I'll probably have my April and May reading wrap-up probably put together. So that'll probably be my next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again with another video. Bye.